For most situations, keyframes are all you need. However, if you want your camera following a specific target, especially when it's moving side to side, then I find targets can do a little bit better job. So for this demonstration, I thought we could use targets to follow the path of the guy running out of the store. The first step we'll want to do is the same as before. Enter in your total number of ticks in your demo. I'm entering in 1 to 1180. Then press reload or revert, then select. And again, if you see these values here, then you're in good shape. Now even though we're using targets, we're still going to need at least one keyframe so we can tell our camera where to start. I thought for this shot, we could have the camera about where the lamppost is, then have it follow the man as he runs right past it. Targets are particularly good for this. This is also how I made the shot of the dwarf being fired out of the cannon in Galaxy Gulp. That also used slow motion, but we'll get into that in a later section. Anyway, I'm going to set up my camera right at the lamppost here. Now I'll press resume to test my height. Okay, let's see what this will look like. Okay, that's a little low. I'm going to move up a tad. Oops, the demo ended. I'll replay it. Okay, this is good. I'll pause it and gah! Well, there's my favorite bug again, the one that resets your view. Alright, let's do this again. Really, in a way, it's good that this is happening, because now it's documented, and you can see it's not any easier for me than it is for you. So if you're following along with me, I share your pain. Or I guess you share mine. Okay, this looks about right. I'm going to get Demo Smoother ready at the tick mark. I want to start it around tick 100 again, so I'll enter in 40 here like last time. That brought me to tick 90, so I'll skip ahead to 100. Now let's cross our fingers and hit resume. Okay, this looks like about the right height, so I'm going to pause this and make my key. Now the angle on this doesn't actually matter, because our targets will override that. The only important thing here is the position. Okay, let's back up a bit and take a look. Alright, that position looks fine. Now even though we only have one point, we still need to do the spline origin command. This is because targets will only affect what your camera is looking at, not its position. So click on Process, Spline Origin. Okay, now that that's set up, we need to start thinking about camera shots. I want to follow the guy running out of the store. Since the camera is set up at the lamppost, we don't need to worry about where the camera is pointing until he starts to exit the store. So I'm going to rewind the demo here and figure out where we'll first start to see him. I'm entering in 100 here, pressing Go To. Now it's gone back in time. Okay, our camera is going to be here. Let's fly around and see when it will first be visible. I'm going to click on Resume, then pause it as soon as he gets out the door. Okay, that's close. Let's move our view over here, then inch forward using the arrow key for the rest. Okay, that position looks good. This will be a good spot to place our first target. Now when you create a target, it creates a red cube directly below your position. So you'll want to hover above where you'll want it to be. Also, for a moving target like this, I find it's better to aim your target slightly ahead of where he actually is. Kind of like how snipers leave their shots so they can kill people. It's the same thing. Sort of. Anyway, you create your target by pressing this button. Oops, wait, I made a mistake. What did I forget here, people? What? That's right, my ticks aren't lined up. I'm creating this at tick 101, and I need to be at 356. So I'm going to delete this target and fix that. Okay, I'll try jumping to what? 140. I can barely read that, but that says 363. That's pretty close. Here, I'll adjust our view so you can see it. Alright, now I just need to use the arrow keys to adjust the tick mark. Okay, now we can create our target. Alright, that made our target, but this view isn't the best for judging depth, so we'll have to move our view out for a minute to get some perspective. Yeah, see, that's what I was afraid of. The target in this case is a little high. We're interested in the guy himself, not his haircut. So let's go back and readjust this. Okay, I'm going to try this position. Now you may think I'm even higher than before, so why would this be a good spot? Well, unfortunately, when you're in pause mode like this, you can run into problems with the positioning again. Remember earlier how I said if you hold down Shift, you can slow your movement? Well, unfortunately, that seems to impact the distance of how far below you your targets are created. When I move around a bunch like this, I usually anticipate them being farther away from me than before. You usually end up having to resume playback before it will reset. Okay, so I'm going to delete the existing target, then create a new one pressing the same button. That looks promising. Let's check it from another angle. Alright, that's exactly what I was shooting for. Something at the torso level positioned a little bit ahead of him. Alright, that's where the camera will first start looking when we're done. Now we need to figure out where we want our next target. The rule of thumb with keyframes is to use as few as possible. With targets, the rule I use is to use them whenever your subject changes its velocity or if you really want the camera focused on him for a particular scene. So when we get to the point where he runs right in front of the camera, we may want a few more targets for that part. For now, I'm going to create the next target when he slows down, which will happen when he stops to talk to the dwarf and the turbo chi. I'm going to inch his progress forward with the arrow key, then make a new mark when he starts to slow down. Okay, there, he's starting to stop. I may have gone a little over actually, but that's close enough. Okay, that tick is at 423, so I need to guess what to enter in for the demo smoother position. I'll try 160. That's pretty close. Now I'll skip to 423 using the arrow keys. Now this is about the spot I want, so I'll click on Make Target. Oh, that one looks good. Let's see. Yeah, that's about perfect. Nice. Okay, he's slowed down, so we'll want to hold this position until he starts to move again. So let's figure out when that is. I'll hit resume. Okay, he's starting to take off again, so let's create a new target in about the same spot. I'm going to rewind this to tick 550 and inch along again. Let me try that one more time. Alright, I think we'll want to target at around 575. We'll want this in about the same place so the camera doesn't move much while he's standing still. If we were to place this target away from him when he started moving, the camera would gradually lead into that while he's standing still, which wouldn't look as good. Okay, time to guess on the numbers again. I'll go with 190. It could be closer. I'll try 200. Man, I'm still off. I would suck on the Price is Right. Let's go with 220. Alright, that's pretty close. We'll just back it up a tad. Now I'll click on Make Target. Alright, let's take a look at this. Whoa, I'm way off with my depth. I'll have to try it again. I'll go higher this time. Delete target, make target. Okay, I can see from here that's too high. Let's rinse and repeat. I'm pressing shift to inch forward again. Okay, that might work. Let's see. Okay, good enough for government work. Now let's make the next target for once he's accelerated into motion again. I'll inch forward here. Okay, he seems to have his speed up at this point. Now I get to guess the tick mark again. I'll try 230. Hey, not too far off. I'll skip to 636 manually. Remember, you want your target slightly ahead of your subject. Now I'll click on Make Target again. Let's see. Alright, the positioning's good, but that's a little low. So I'll delete this and try again. No, that's still too low. No, it's still a little too high. I feel like Goldilocks here, except there is no just right option. It's like there's 5 bowls of porridge and they're all too hot or too cold. Let's try it again. Nope, I can see that one is too low from here. You having fun yet? Alright, let's try again. Well, that one's not too bad. I think I'm just going to lower my standards and go with this one. Let's keep moving forward. It would be cool if we could have this guy run right by the camera, so let's make another target right as he passes it. I'm going to inch forward again to get to the position I want. Okay, that looks about right. Now I'll do the same thing in the demo smoother. Okay, we're both matching at 663. Let's create a new target. That's a little too low. At the risk of losing my sanity, I'll try and redo this one. Delete, make. No, that looks a little high. Let's try again. Nope, that one's too low. I guess this is a metaphor for how people with bipolar disorder feel. They're always either too high or too low. Let's try again. Ooh, head level. This might work. Aha, excellent. Now let's inch forward again and create our next target. Because he'll be running so close to the camera, we should make our next one relatively soon after he passes. Okay, that looks far enough. Now we'll match up the ticks in Demo Smoother again. You know, I'm almost hoping you were a little lost when starting out on this, because I've only repeated this process about 12 times now. Okay, I'm actually going to put this at 700 since I think I overshot a little bit. In which case I'll make the target where his body is, since he exists in the future. Get it? Make target. Okay, how's my height? Well, that's not perfect, but I can live with it. The farther away your subject gets from the camera, the more lax you can be with your targets anyway. Alright, let's click resume and watch room to change velocity again. Okay, he actually changed his direction right there, but it was kind of subtle, so let's wait until he does something more major. Okay, he's about to curve there. That looks like as good a spot as any. Let's fly over and make our new target. Oh boy, time to guess numbers again. What do you think? I'll go with 260. No, that's way too low. 300. Still too low. 330. 846. 915. Pretty close. Alright, now I'll do the rest manually. Well, there is no 874 option, so 873 should be fine. Okay, make target. Well, that's a little low, but he's so far away from the camera it's not worth readjusting. We'll just make 1 or 2 more targets, then we'll stop. Time to guess the tick mark again. 350. Not too bad. Let's go with 370. Hey, if any of you guys win the lottery by playing these numbers I'm shouting out, you should split some of the winnings with me. So 370 equals 37, that's how you'd play it. Alright, that's close, I'll adjust it some more. I'm actually going to make this one a few ticks before what's being shown in the demo playback window because I'm starting to get lazy about this. The extra accuracy really doesn't matter when he's this far off anyway. And on that note, I think that's the last target we need. He only runs in a straight line after this, so there's no point in making a new target since it would still be looking in the same place. So let's back up and get a full view of this. The camera will stay in one spot, but should track him the entire time. Now let's go ahead and click on Process. You have 2 options here. Look at points and look at point spline. Look at points more or less averages your angles when looking at targets, and look at point spline does a similar job that spline values do for keyframes. I find both actually can look good depending on the situation, so definitely experiment with them. Let's use look at points first. See, it created our angles there. Now turn drive mode off and click on show processed. Now you won't actually see him run out of the store, but we'll be able to follow the camera movements. Okay, it comes out the store, says his line, takes off again, goes by the camera, and runs away. Okay, let's pause this. That looked a tad jerky to me, like a pinball or something. Let's see if look at point spline does a better job. I'm going to go to drive mode so you can see the differences in the angles when we change it. Remember to check the back off option twice. Then click on process, look at point spline. Okay, that changed the pattern a little bit. Let's turn drive mode off, then click on show process to see what that looks like. Comes out the store, stops, runs away, flies by the camera, and runs off. Well, to me, that view looked a lot smoother at the end, so I think that's what we should go with. Alright, I'm going to pause this, then save. And remember, this is going to create a file demo1_smooth. I already renamed the last demo like that to demo2, so I won't overwrite anything. Just something to be aware of when you save. If you want to look at this demo later off the DVD files, I'm going to rename it to demo3. For now though, let's close this, then the demo window. And in the console, type playback space demo1_smooth. Okay, it's starting. Remember, those floating numbers will go away if you restart the game. Somebody call the police! A fight's broken out! Well, the tracking looks pretty good to me. I think the camera was slightly behind the target, but that's why I put those targets in front of where you want them to be. Okay, that wraps up on how to use targets in Demo Smoother. They're good for situations like this, but overall they're usually not necessary. Okay, next up I'm going to have one more demonstration with Demo Smoother. It won't cover any new functions. It will just look at a different situation you might encounter.